All right, let's get into it. So at GTC 2026, NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang gets up on stage, and everyone's expecting a new, faster chip. But that's not what he did. Instead, he basically gave us the blueprint for an entirely new way of thinking about computing and about the economy itself. He argued we're at this massive turning point, shifting from an age of just finding information to an age of actually producing intelligence. And this quote right here, it just says it all, doesn't it? To get a sense of how huge this vision is, Huang isn't talking about some new app or cool feature. He's framing this as the next major operating system. Think on the level of Windows or Mac OS. It's a fundamental shift in how we even think about what a computer is. So before we go any further, let's make sure we're all on the same page. When we say Agentic AI, we're not just talking about a chatbot that can answer your questions. No, we're talking about autonomous systems that can take a really complex goal, figure out the steps to get there, and then use the tools you already have to do it. So imagine telling an AI agent, hey, plan my entire family vacation. It could then go and research places, book flights in your budget, find a hotel, and build out a whole daily itinerary, all while you sleep without you having to micromanage every single step. So where did all this come from? Well, at the heart of this revolution is this viral open source project that just took the developer world by storm. And Huang argues that this project actually defines a completely new category of computer. Think back to when ChatGPT first dropped. It's not that generative AI was totally new, but that simple interface. It made it real for everybody. Well, OpenClaw did the exact same thing, but for Agentic AI. It packaged up this idea of a personal, autonomous AI agent in a way that any developer could download, play with, and build on top of. And that created this massive cultural moment. Now, this slide is where it gets really wild, because it shows you that cultural moment in numbers. You're looking at OpenClaw hitting about 300,000 developer stars on GitHub in just 60 days. 60! To put that in perspective, the Linux kernel, the thing that basically runs the internet, it took 30 years to get to that same milestone. I mean, even if you account for GitHub being bigger now, you just can't argue with that kind of explosive demand. And here's the key takeaway. Huang is arguing this isn't just another app. No, this is a whole new kind of computer. And just like any other operating system, it manages the core stuff, it's got a memory system, it can schedule tasks to run overnight. But here's where it gets crazy. It also thinks. It uses what are called skills, which are really just apps like Excel or a web browser. It can even take a massive problem and break it down by creating smaller sub-agents to tackle it all at once. This completely changes the game. Okay, so once he established this new kind of computer, this Agentic OS, he then started painting this picture of the whole new economy it's going to create. And this right here? This is the paradigm shift in a nutshell. Look at the two columns. On the left, you've got the old world we know. Data centers were basically just digital warehouses for storing files. On the right, the new world. Those data centers are now AI factories, and their job is to produce tokens. We're moving from software as a service, or SaaS, to agent as a service. The whole dynamic flips from humans using tools to agents using tools for us. We're not just retrieving information anymore, we're producing intelligence. So if these AI factories aren't manufacturing intelligence, what's the actual product coming off the assembly line? Well, it's the token. Think of it like this. The last industrial revolution ran on electricity, right? And we measured it in kilowatts. This new revolution runs on AI, and we measure it in tokens. It's the fundamental unit of work. And the sheer scale of this new industrial build-out, it's just staggering. Huang is looking at a market for this AI factory infrastructure that's going to blow past $1 trillion. And that's just through 2027 alone. This quote really shows you how this is going to ripple through the entire tech industry. See, the new model isn't about getting rid of software companies, it's about transforming them. Instead of just selling you a subscription for a tool you have to use yourself, they're going to sell an agent as a service that gets the whole job done for you. Okay, so if this massive agentic revolution is coming, you have to ask, where does NVIDIA fit in? Well, when you see a storm this big on the horizon, you can bet the company selling the shovels for the gold rush has a master plan to control it. But there was a huge problem. See, OpenClaw's insane viral growth came with a catch. A fatal flaw, really. It was built for speed, not for safety. And that created a massive issue. It was nowhere near ready for serious enterprise use. I mean, security researchers had a field day with this thing. We're talking about unencrypted API keys just lying around in plain text files, no basic password protection. And the big one, a huge risk of supply chain attacks, where an agent could download a malicious skill that looks fine, but is actually stealing all your corporate data. It was a complete non-starter for any serious business. And this is where NVIDIA's strategy is just brilliant. It's a classic playbook, right? You find this incredible open source movement, you praise it, you highlight its one giant fatal flaw, and then you step in to sell the cure. And that cure? It's called NemoClaw. So how does it actually work? Well, it's all about layers of protection. First, it puts the agent in a little sandbox. They call it an open shell, so it can't break out and mess with the rest of your system. Then, it adds these policy guardrails to control exactly what the agent is allowed to do. It has this clever privacy router that keeps all your sensitive data safe on your own servers, while still letting the agent tap into powerful cloud models. And maybe most importantly, it all plugs into the governance systems businesses already use. So what does all this really mean for the future? For industries? For our jobs? Are we looking at the end of software as we know it? There was this real fear out there. People were calling it the SaaS apocalypse. The idea that these super smart agents would just make all our software apps obsolete. But Huang's take is the exact opposite. He says these agents are like ultra-fast workers, and if you have millions of them working around the clock, they're going to need more software licenses for things like Excel or Photoshop, not fewer. Demand, he says, is going to explode. And this same logic applies to us, to human workers. You've probably heard that line, you won't lose your job to AI, but to someone using AI. Well, this takes it a step further. By automating all the grunt work, AI doesn't get rid of us. It actually makes us busier because it throws all this completed work back at us and forces us to make more critical decisions faster. The bottleneck shifts from getting things done to deciding what to do next. And the last piece of this massive vision from Huang is that this whole revolution, it's not going to be stuck in the digital world. This is just the beginning. And this is the final mind-bending idea he left everyone with. Once we get these digital agents figured out, once they're running smoothly in our data centers, the exact same logic is going to move into the physical world. We're talking about the next multi-trillion-dollar gold rush being in robotics, in autonomous cars, in automated factories, physical AI. The agentic era is already here. It's starting by reshaping our digital world. But next, it's coming for the physical one.